Are you hungover?
No, not particularly.
You had...
Like 2 fingers of Drambuie and two fingers of
Baileys. Over about 4 hours, so you're good. 5 maybe?
Yep.
No, I had a little bit of Baileys. We were with your parents, so we didn't want to get too drunk. Happy New Year anyway. This is what 2022 looks like in the massive town of Selje. Are we in the ghetto now?
No, we are pretty... Okay.
It resumed. That's the first time we've had that happen. Where YouTube crashes and then it resumes. But I lost... Oh, no, I still have the old chat. So Charlotte says, hello and Happy New Year from Åsana this time. Ah, she's been traveling. Albert's back. He was playing with his father-in-law last week. Kiwi, Happy New Year. Finally, I'm able to join live again. Yay, because we got up early. I see it's only the Norwegians who got up, though.
Yep.
The Americans must be medicating hangovers. I hope you've all been well. We've been well. We're doing well. No, we made it up again. Okay, I don't know why it crashed, but it could be our location. Susan Youngman got up early. And Yurdis is back. Happy New Year, Gott Nytt År. How do you say that in your language?
Gott Nytt År.
That's how it's supposed to sound when I say it. So.
Well, if you are from any Norsk district at least.
Oh, there's the gas prices, $17.49 per liter. Just wanted to say, it's expensive as hell here. It's actually been a little bit worse. But anyway, we'll show you where we are. We're in a very non-Viking district, but you can point. This is the map of Selje and points of interest. I saw where the washing machine was located. It's here in Stad Kommune, or Stad County. Yeah. And that's how you spell Selje. Welcome to Selje. You want to point where we were last time on there?
Last time we were at the end of this road, looking, well, both directions.
Where are we now?
Now we are about there.
Yeah. And then you had a whole bunch of interesting things to point out, and now that we're on, they're not telling me them.
Okay, and Stad.
Hi, Arlene. Yeah?
It's now the name of the commune. It's a merged commune between Selje and Nordfjordeid.
Yeah?
So most of what you see here, ignore this bit, is part of Stad commune.
Okay, we're ignoring that bit, so I'll focus on
This is where the foreigners live.
That's where the foreigners live.
But Stad as a geographic phenomenon is basically this peninsula. And it is...
This is as far west as you can go in Norway.
Yeah.
Where's Vestkap? West Point. There. Now that I've interrupted you.
So the really dangerous piece of sea I was talking about is out there on this map. The reason it's dangerous is because you have some phenomena that act in tandem. You have the Gulf Stream coming up like this and being forced around this peninsula, so it kind of speeds up out here.
Mm.
Then you have a tidal stream. All the water that's back here has to go back and forth every time the tide shifts. And then you have a bottom that kind of looks like this.
Yeah.
And then you have incredibly hard weather. And this combines to cause a phenomenon they call static waves. It's basically a pyramidal wave where you have like the interference of all of these things come together and build waves that just come up like mountains like this.
Mm.
And if a boat gets one of these, fairly big boat gets one of these, surprisingly, that might cause them to get their cargo displaced, and then they're in for a really, really interesting trip across the Stadhavet.
Is that the place that's famous for having the wacky currents?
Yeah, well, there are wacky currents, but it's not as bad as you can't see it on the surface like you can in Straumann outside of Bergen.
That's the one I was thinking of. Okay.
But that is what causes it to be dangerous. Stadhavet and Hustadvika are in competition of being the most dangerous piece of sea in Norway.
Yeah.
And I would say that Stadhavet nowadays is more dangerous than Hustadvika, because Hustadvika, the problem there is that you lose track of where you are. There are no landmarks, and there is a lot of stones in the water, and there is often very foggy. But if you have a good GPS, Hustadvika is, I wouldn't say a breeze, but much safer than this.
Ah, Peruta and Torben are on, by the way, and Charlotte says she has a brother who lives where we are. She knows exactly where we are. We're just by the mini beach, which is right there. The mini beach is right there.
Well, you have to be from
You can't turn it there.
California or Hawaii to refer to that as a mini beach.
That's
but we'll
Charlotte.
go and
She's
have a
in
look
Bergen.
at
Is that close?
Afterwards.
Okay.
Well,
Show us
Bergen
where
is-
the boats went over. You said Viking ships went up. Where were we last? Just to remind.
We
were
were
there.
here.
And we were filming outward.
When we film outward, we can't really see this place.
Where's the nunnery?
That would be
There.
about a ton here.
So we were filming.
And it's not a
This
nunnery.
way.
There were never nuns there. It's a monk monastery.
You're ruining my fantasy with correct facts. Okay, so where would they bring the boats over? You said Viking ships.
They would drag them over here. As you see, the mountain isn't as steep here.
Yeah.
Dragging a Viking ship from here to here would still be a goddamn nightmare. But it's much less nightmarish than trying to row it around here.
Torben would like to know something a little bit more along lines of current events. Where did you crash your boat?
Sorry, what now?
He said, where did you crash your boat? You have him thinking now. Were you sober for this? Oh, I hope so.
I haven't had any major boat crashes. I've
No.
had some minor ones.
Okay, if you wanted to crash a boat, where would you do it? What a stupid...
I've been caught in fog about here and then going very, very slowly in random directions until the fog lifted.
Yeah.
I have hit stones here, here repeatedly, and somewhere in here.
Okay, does that count as crashing? He said, didn't you crash your boat once, ram it up ashore?
Yeah, that was on the harbor of here, but I didn't really ram it up ashore. I just had I had a guy who had absolutely no fucking clue what he was doing and no business driving a boat, but I thought, he'll learn.
We're enabling defensive mode now.
He didn't. So his idea of stopping a boat is not as normal people would do, to put it into reverse and then give a little bit of gas. It's to aim exactly for the middle of the boat in front of him and give full gas. Well, the boat stopped. The guy in front of him was not amused. And, well, that's fair enough. He was angry at me for letting the idiot drive, not at the idiot for driving. But he is right about that. I shouldn't let an idiot drive my boat.
Okay, but again, if you had a Viking ship and you wanted to drag it over the mountains, you would go there.
You would go here. You would hope that you had a very good relationship with the guy who has the gigantic farm up here. Because if he decides to be a dick about it, he won't lend you labor to pull your boat and you have to do it all by yourself. And if he decides to be a major dick about it, you have to drag it around his farm,
Yeah.
which would be a problem.
Okay. Hi, Connie, by the way. Yeah, continue.
Also up here, there is a stone cross now. That's fairly new-ish. It's from,
Oh, we saw that.
It's from about 1920 or so.
Number 3, that's Drageside.
Yeah. But what the cross commemorates is that at that point, Olav Tryggvason made 4 counties Christian, basically. And Olav Tryggvason could be kind of a dick. So what he basically does is that he goes, okay, new king in town, everybody should show up to the ting to talk about shit. And everybody comes. But because they respect the idea of the ting peace, ting freden, they show up with little people and very little weapons. Olav Tryggvason shows up with his entire army. And he goes, yeah, time to change the religion. If anybody have an objection, we can fight about it. And people are just going, okay, so this entails having water thrown at us and somebody chanting at us in Latin. Yeah, we can do that. So it was fairly bloodless to change the religion of Western Norway.
So where were these Viking finds? You said there's some runestones supposedly around here that we have to go and look next time.
There is one about there.
Yeah?
It's
On Skjolden.
and well, on I believe. No, I'm not sure about the names, and the names on this map is not right. But I believe the farm that is about there is called the Røyset.
Yeah.
And the cross is somewhere on the road from
No dying.
from the ferry and out to Røyset. And the stone is probably meant to be magical. Because the text on it has been translated to say, Den som gjør kraftløs, or the one who removes power, or the one who makes you weak. So the stone in itself, it's about this tall, is probably meant as a magical incantation to make people who show up with no good reason to steal your sheep or whatever, to make them too weak to actually pull it off, or if you have to fight them, you have already put a spell on them that makes them weak. That's probably the thinking. But because it's probably not meant as a warning, because most people probably couldn't read the runes. Notice my overuse of the word probably here. So yeah, quick summary.
Quick summary.
Dangerous sea, Viking solution, drag ships over here.
Yeah.
Modern solution, if they ever get their finger out, dig tunnel through here.
Oh yeah, they're building a tunnel through the mountain for the boats.
Yeah.
That's like the first one in the world?
Not exactly, but it's the first one in this scale.
Okay.
Uh,
Magic stones are always fun, says Alder. And Regina's here, by the way. I hope you're feeling better.
so the idea is to build one that is big enough for the Hurtigrute type ships to go through here instead of going around there.
Oh yeah, by the way, just to point that out, I noticed it's on the map. So this is where you were talking about number 16 here.
Yeah.
That's what they're making. You can actually Google that, to be done in 2026. The Stad County Ships Tunnel. Cool. Instead of going all the way around that into the dangerous water.
Yeah. I don't think anybody has died out there since the late 90s than a fishing ship sank. But there is so much money lost by transport ships being delayed either in Måløy down here
Yeah.
or in Vanylven up here somewhere. Because they are operating on if there is even a little bit of risk and you keep doing this again and again and again and again, then accepting that risk is not worth it. So samfunnsøkonomisk, we are losing a lot of money because things are not moving as quickly as they could be.
Yeah. By the way, Regina won COVID 0. Yay! Way to go, Regina. Torben wants to know, was it on Selje you made homemade fireworks? And while you answer that, I'll show the monastery. Okay, so where did you make the fireworks, the homemade fireworks, Karl?
I made the homemade fireworks in my room. That's where we are sleeping, by the way.
Oh, that's why that smell is.
And the homemade fireworks were mostly ordinary fireworks and fuckloads of gunpowder.
Yeah.
We took one of these, one of these mortar-like thingies that are supposed to fire a ball this size high into the sky and then explode.
Yeah.
We took one of those, filled it up with gunpowder, took a plastic box and glued it shut on top of it so the ball had nowhere to go. And then we put it next to kommunalt lager,
A communal warehouse.
warehouse that's over there.
Yeah.
When you take the wrong turn, you drive past it, by the way.
Oh, I know the one.
And it's made out of sheet metal with these bent profiles.
Yeah.
And we put it right next to the wall of this thing. Lit the fuse and ran away giggling like little girls. And when it went off, it was like the entire building was struck by a gong. So the entire building went bow, wow, 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 wow.
Happy New Year, Anna. Oh, it's 48 in Selje, which is 8 degrees. It's plus degrees here at least, 1 or 2.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want me to say more about the map, or should we?
No, we should move on. The map is getting boring now. I want to see Saint Sunniva over there, Saint Sunniva. I heard from my mom yesterday that she had to run out and go shopping before It was going to be minus 21. No, yeah. Anyway, so it'd be minus 31 Celsius today in Duluth. I thought, yep, this is why I think this is warm here. Anyway, this is St. Sunniva. She's looking a little pale. Probably doesn't see the sun that much. And she's taller than Karl.
Yeah, so she is standing here and staring at the out towards that island. That's the Selje island.
Yeah.
And the cave where she lived and where the monastery now is.
You have to turn a little, so we'll see where she's looking.
You probably noticed when you see depictions of the Catholic saints that all of them have a signifier of some sort. Saint Olav is always having his axe. Saint Halvard has his millstone. And in all the ancient depictions of Saint Sunniva, she is holding a rock.
Yeah.
Because she died in an avalanche. But this one is holding a weird pyramid for some reason.
She is. She's holding, it looks like a pyramid rock. Garcia's here from Holland. People actually got up today, you know. It's like the day of hangover where people notoriously get up early. It is a pyramid, so why is she holding a weird pyramid rock?
I don't know. It might be that...
She looks a little focused and distressed at the same time. And she has a crown on her head.
Yeah, I mentioned before that there is a lot of things wrong with this story. Not the least among them is that the Irish have never heard of her. Sunniva is not an Irish name.
No, this is how it's spelled, by the way. Sancta Sunniva, which is Saint Sunniva. Yeah?
But there was a period of time back in the mid to late Viking age when it was a very good idea to have as many saints as possible.
Yeah?
So any excuse to make an area Christian. Personally, I have a very little faith in the Saint Sunniva story. There might be something there, because people have been living in that cave since at least the Neolithic era.
Yeah?
But I don't think that any of them were magical Irish people.
No. She could be magical and Irish. By the way, I see Maria is up as well, and Kylie is here from Australia. Wow, made it to a live stream finally at 12:15 a.m. on Sunday, 16. And everybody's got their temperatures in there. I think we're still winning as one of the coldest. Torben says, is there some sort of hotel in Selje where one could spend the day or three during summer? He's planning on vacation there. And he's actually never been to Selje. Have you never been to Selje?
Well, yes and no. Mostly no, because the last owners of the hotel burned it the fuck down.
Should we walk to the beach?
In what is probably the worst thought through insurance scam in modern history. Because here is a few pointers if you're ever going to do an insurance scam. One, don't remove everything valuable from the thing you're planning to burn down before you burn it down. Second, when you make something that is very obviously arson, don't use your own keys.
Walk around the ice here.
If you have to make it a great big conspiracy with a lot of people involved and moving parts, then make sure you can trust all those people. Well, yeah, it's not a good scam, but it cost us to go from, I think, 135 overnattingsplasser, or sleeping beds, overnight, you could say, to 35, because the hotel had 100 of them, and the hotel doesn't exist anymore.
By the way, is this the hotel? What
No.
are we looking at here?
This is the Prestegarden Up until recently, it was the actual home of the priest.
Oh, sure is here.
Priest gets to live in this house because he or she is the priest. I think the last priest decided it was too drafty. I would live in the normal house and went to live somewhere else.
So what was it used for in more recent years? You had a good story here.
No, that's the yellow house next to it.
Ah, well, we'll walk around and see it. I'm gonna go to the other side of here because there's a car wanting to pass. There you go.
If I remember correctly, this yellow house back when the Prästgården was an actual farm, the main house of an actual farm.
There you can see it.
Unmarried mothers with no dependents got to live in that house, the yellow one.
So it's a home for unwed mothers on the Prästgård or whatever the church. We'll look this way because there's a car stopping by looking at me. So you could be an unwed mother there, stay there, and be constantly judged by the priests. Is that about right?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay, I'll turn the camera again here slowly. Now we are in downtown Selje. It was a good walk. No. If anyone wants to stalk Karin and Karl, they're currently there. Oh, on Google. Oh, we're in Google Maps. Yeah, where we are. Marisa just wanted to stop by saying Happy New Year. Now back to my movie, and afterwards my friend's computer needs some CPR. Charlie said she was just going to bed at 5:18 a.m. Oh, it has been a good New Year's. By the way, Karl, before they get too far, wait.
What now?
How was the turkey?
The turkey turned out good.
How was the turkey?
No, my Time American worked perfectly.
Would you like to describe the turkey process? We did use the mayo. You had to molest a bird with a mayo?
Yes. The mayo
How much mayo did you use? How did you decide how much mayo to use?
I used mayo until the turkey didn't want anymore.
Yay for the turkey. No, it actually turned out it was actually even juicy.
Yes.
How much crap did you get up its hoo-ha? It was
most of it.
How did you find that job? Was that a
No,
Did it come natural? No, I think there was a whole lemon, but we quartered these. And 1 or 2 onions and 2 apples, because we had lots of extra apples.
Will you please show the people what you refer to as a mini beach?
This is your mini beach up the hoo-ha, says Charlotte. She knows what I'm talking about. We filled it to max capacity, but it was actually really good. And the mayonnaise did the trick because it was not dry at all. I was so sure I'd end up with a dry. Cherie says, oops, I actually laughed out loud and woke my husband. There you go. So you slather mayonnaise all over the boobs of the bird, everywhere else too, actually. And then you...
Spread the legs to see if it bleeds while you have it in a
We
tank
actually
and
had to
oven.
spread the legs because the thermometer wasn't working properly. That was the mini beach, by the way. I see why they call that a mini beach.
This is not a mini beach. This is a really big beach.
This is not the big beach.
By Norwegian standards,
The
absolutely.
whole thing fits on the screen. That's not a big beach.
Let's walk it.
Let's walk that. Oh, I don't know if we have the time to walk up that whole huge beach. Mayonnaise! Yes, we used mayonnaise. There would be a troll in Germany somewhere that would be very proud of us. It didn't taste like mayonnaise either. Connie says Karl is funny. Let's see if I can...
That's your washing machine, by the way.
My washing machine? Oh, yep. If you need to wash your clothes when you're visiting here, Torben, that's the house you want to do. That one. You can also do your washing, go to the bathroom there, take a shower, and throw out your garbage.
Yeah, but you have to go up to that one to borrow the keys.
I wouldn't trust Karl making hot dogs, and you poor gays people gave him turkey. See, Torben knows my pain. Oh, but I have a tame American.
Yes.
You now have a feral American.
Now I have a time American who knows how to make turkey.
But I turned you into a tame Norwegian. It was good turkey. We're going to take on Greg now. Waka, 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 eh? We'll turn it around and look. I could, while I climb up the ice here, so in case I fall, it won't look so bad on camera. Why is the beach... Why is the beach where I come from, Duluth, of course, this is a freshwater lake. That beach would be very brown. This is clearly not brown. It's very white.
Yes.
Is that all the salt or what? Is it?
No, it's the natural color of the sand.
Because that's not snow. Well, that's snow next to it, but that's the white isn't snow. But it's extremely white. Where the brown, I was going to say maybe, no, that's a little too gray. I was thinking what the brown would look like there. And then what's that over there? Should we walk over there?
Yeah, we can do that.
We can do that. What is that in the middle?
What's
This
that?
is something I think is quite cool. Okay, it's obviously a church. I'm not going to
Yes.
shock you there. But there's all little fishing boat houses right outside. I like that.
Yeah.
So you can go to church and then you can, you can just boat right up to it. And there's all these little places, boat houses.
Yeah. Because of this area being extremely
How do we get down without
windy,
dying?
and
Yeah?
there is a lot of hard weather here. There isn't that many places you can build boat houses like that.
Yeah.
So that area is called Kirkefjøra, the church's beach, and a lot of the locals or the old families have boat houses down there. Norway has some rules about building too close to the sea. So you're not really allowed to build a house to live in very close to the sea. But you can build a boathouse, and if you insulate the room...
I'm gonna fall, so I have to turn the camera now. Yeah?
And if you insulate the room so that it is livable, and you get some kind of plumbing, you can kind of take the rules. So that's one place when I was way too young to drink alcohol. One of the places I was really, really drunk.
Yeah. There we go. I haven't fallen yet. It's a little icy here. Want to see what we're walking on? So, Karl, because you're such an awesome cook now,
Yes?
and a tame Norwegian, should we make a souffle? I just want to see the look on your face when it deflates. I don't even know what the hell a souffle is.
Me neither.
It's
so-
just got a lot of air. You're gonna be really quiet. All the cartoons show you like tiptoeing around it.
Now I kind of have the principle now that we are not dumber than most people. And if some people can do something, there is no good reason why we can't. So yeah, we can make a bloody
Make a
souffle.
bloody souffle. We're gonna totally outcook Greg. We did challenge him. He called us up to say challenge accepted. A lot of dueling turkeys. With ours will have mayonnaise and spread legs. So you can kind of see where we were last week. We were there, were we not? Like by the white there? The White House?
The very last houses you see out on that road.
The very last houses you see?
Yeah. You see the big mountain with a lot of snow on the top.
Well, it's all of it is a big mountain with a lot of snow at a time.
Biggest one.
There, yeah.
That one.
Okay.
That was Drage is right on the other side of that. So the place where the Vikings dragged their ships is right on the other side of that mountain.
Yeah.
But that mountain is only passable at extremely low tide.
Oh,
So if you wanted to build a road out to Drage, just because of that mountain and the avalanches that come off it, you would have to make a tunnel through it. And for the people who live at Drage, that's not worth it.
no.
So
Ooh, we're on squishy sand now. I have to check chat real quick here. Patricia says, it looks strange to see water. Lake Winnipeg is frozen 3 feet and trucks are driving on it to go ice fishing. Ice road truckers at at Arlene's house. Yeah.
that's the Gulf Stream.
That's the Gulf Stream, yeah, so there's too much.
This water was recently in Mexico, so it's still hot.
It's got Mexican salsa on it. Fjernsin kjøkkenet, Karl Espelid Hoving. Torben says we need to make a whole show out of it. I don't know if we can call it Viking Nalbinding anymore. It would be Viking Nalbind. It would be modern Turkey. Wait, footprints in the sand. I think it's kind of squishy.
Yeah, up here it's squishy.
I have to put my feet down if I can. It's squishy.
It's kind of hard. Notice I don't have footprints.
Notice Karl's shoes are still smiling. Karl?
Yeah?
What did your mother say? Aren't you kind of like, Okay, so I told him the one thing you had to do in Vestby is to make sure he gets shoes. So I take him to a shoe store. He stares at the one shelf. Those heels are way too high. And so he wouldn't buy them. He refused to buy them because, God forbid, he'd be a high-heeled man. Anyway, they were like this.
Every time I leave the house now, she is going, I'm to school. And the answer to that is a general no. We are just walking the mini beach.
So we took you to Molai because we were going to see if they had shoes there. There weren't any shoes there. And then then we thought maybe we'd go yesterday, or no, to go to the grocery store because it was, 2 days ago. We walked down to the grocery store, the whole 3 blocks of it. And then we told her we were going down to the store to go buy some food. And she wanted to know if you were going to buy shoes. So if your grocery store has shoes now.
It might have, but...
You got in big trouble. So if you show back next time with smiley shoes, you're in big trouble. Let's see. How did the stash busting challenge? Did I finish my goal? Oh, I am in needle binding overtime. I will I will. Here. Karl holds camera. I did bring it with. So Karl's sister and brother-in-law have tempted me with new yarn. I promise I have not touched it yet, but it's in there to tempt me I have to finish. So I have a lot to go yet because I used thin yarn, which was stupid. So if you have 100 grams of yarn that's thick, it goes fast. You get about a hat and a half out of it, but no, I went with skinny yarn. So this is 100 grams of skinny yarn. There's going to be enough to make like at least 2 hats out of it anyway. But this yarn isn't going as I thought it was. It looks like, now that it's bound up, it doesn't look striped. But when it was in the skein, the twisted skein, then it looked like it was going to be stripy, but it's not. It's multicolor. So you can see that it's not been ironed, so it looks kind of lumpy. Still, this is how much far I got last week. Last week I think it's gonna be a little too big, but it actually does measure about the same size as your hat. I think it's done. What do you think?
I just have to find somebody with a really big head.
We know a few big-headed people. It might be big. I don't know. It's still going downwards though, so it's not as big as I thought it was getting, so that's good. Of course, I have a really big head.
I've seen bigger.
But I'll do some needle binding here. Last week I actually managed to lose my needle. I think we dropped it on the way in the car or something. But we went back and looked for it and didn't find it. Did you ever try looking for a bone needle in the snow?
In Sogndal, Torben knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
We went to school with a guy with a really big head. And we had one of these school excursions to the aluminium plant in Årdal. And then everybody has to wear a hard hat. And there was this tiny little girl. And she when she got her hard hat on, she kind of looked like, if you imagine a match and you put half orange on top of it.
Yeah.
And then you have this guy standing right next to her with his ridiculously big head and a tiny little helmet on top of it. And you go, why don't the two of you just exchange helmets? So they did. And you have exactly the same result. Because the helmets are all the same size. It's just that one of them has a ridiculously big head and the other one has a tiny little one.
By the way, this is why you don't use lazy man's thread or yarn that's way too long. I get a knot. Anyway, this is finished 2 + 2. I thought I could show that while Karl's filming it, but all you get to do is watch me try to pick a knot out with really bad eyesight. Screw it. It can stay in there for a little bit. Nope, I'm on a mission from God. That sucker's coming out. Hey! I did it. Okay, so I'll pull it through really quickly and it'll do that again. No, but what I have is, if you look at it flat, let's see, can you see the stitches there, Karl? So if you look at it flat, take that yarn back. This is your first loop, then your second loop, third loop, and there's a fourth one in there. It might be easier to see from the top. 1, 2, 3, and then the fourth one is, I need glasses. It's a 4. So that one's not actually wrapped around it, it's wrapped around a fifth loop. So for this one, I go actually away from me through the third and fourth, and then towards me through the first and the second one. But I have to attach it to the other row first. And I did this with F2, a new one and an old one, just to make it denser. So I go that way through the third and fourth loop, and this way through the first and second. And then I catch it on my thumb without making a knot with my extremely lazy man's. Oh, crepe. This is not something that should be done on a beach in Selje, Norway. But anyway, there, I did it. Da-da-da! It's needle binding and Viking today.
Okay.
No, so yes, to answer your question, I am way the hell behind in stash busting overtime. But I will finish the thing. I'm putting the needle in the bag so I don't lose it this time. I can take the thing back from you. So I did it. So as I'm doing finish 2 plus 2, it takes a little longer, but with that thin yarn it goes, it makes it nice and dense. There's a seagull out there, aka sky rat, on the beach, on the water.
And there are some more.
So nice to catch live stream, says Cherie. Must sleep. Sleep well, like she's going to bed at 5:30 in the morning. Arlene likes that yarn. So I thought it was going to be stripy. I love the colors. I just kind of was hoping it would be more striped. But it's variegated, varied. I can't remember how to say it.
Well, the hotel used to be right up here.
Okay, so if you want to stay here, Torben, you can stay in the hotel that's no longer there. Right there. Looks like a nice hotel, Karl. What's there now? A hill.
Well,
no, wait, there's more up there.
No, there is, well, basically nothing there. But they are obviously going to build a new hotel. But
Yeah? You can put your tent right there, under that tree. Maybe between the two. Set up a little hammock.
we still have a camping place. And they have some apartments down there somewhere.
I'm turning. I'm getting there. Give me a minute. I'm going to make everyone seasick. They just drank a lot last night. Out there.
Yeah, at the very end of that.
That's where the apartments are?
Yeah.
So you can go over there. By the way, Torben asks a very good question, and I think we need to follow him up on this. Is the water too cold for swimming? Chuck him in. Go put your hand in there, Karl. Let's see if you freeze.
This water is probably like 6 degrees. You have to take a while.
That's warmer than Lake Superior on a hot day. Go ahead, put your hand in there. Let's see. Let's see if it freezes.
I'm not playing with the water, woman.
Chicken. You make me play with a turkey, but you won't play with that. You are not afraid to mayonnaise molest a turkey, but you are too afraid to put your hand in that water.
The water keeps moving back and forth. And if I go close enough to put my hand in it, then you can almost guarantee that the wave will come and wet my fucked up shoes.
Next time, whoops, I turned it. Next time you'll buy shoes when we tell you to.
You see the sand dune phenomena?
Just a second, I have to reset the gimbal. I cooked it. Yeah? Where's the sand dune phenomena? You can kind of see it in there, yeah. Well, let's see how they're doing on their stash busting, if anybody else is in overtime. Kiwi says, I started working on a needle-bound sweater. Wish me luck. You can do it. Just don't use the skinny yarn. That'll take you forever, but it's so nice. Actually, it'd be really pretty in the skinny yarn if you have the patience. But I used very fat yarn for Andres' sweater, and somebody says I have to make you one, so I found, I think, enough Malabrigo yarn to make Karl a sweater, because, you know, that's what he looks like in a sleeping bag, so he could clearly fit into something small. So maybe. Arlene says she did sewing stash busting. Finally finished a new chamois and 2 dresses and more fabric yesterday. Oh, good job. I gotta say though, I only did buy the 1 skein of yarn. Looks like there's plenty of Airbnb accommodations in Selje. Peruta put up a link, by the way. The hat, by the way, I like that too. Torben says 1 size fits nobody.
It's in connection to the helmet story.
Albert knows a shoe repair place in Lillehammer. By the way, your shoes are beyond repair. But I would definitely use them for Viking shoes. And do they need to take up a collection to buy Karl some new shoes? If anybody's going to get new shoes, it's me. I bought new shoes, but I managed to trick some in-laws into giving them to me as a present. Kiwi said the capelet turned out great, by the way. It's only because I had an awesome person modeling it. Karl is starting a new fashion trend. He's a dedicated follower of fashion, aren't you?
Yes, of course. We see that up there.
You're always pointing in the opposite direction. Yes.
It kind of looks like the ground has been dug out.
Yeah.
This is the lower part of what used to be the garden of the hotel. But back in the early 90s, there was a storm called Skadestormen.
Yeah.
The damaging storm. It wasn't a hurricane, it was just an ordinary storm, but it came at extremely high tide. So the sea was very high when it occurred. And it caused the sea to basically dig away like almost 10 meters of the hotel lawn.
Oh, wow.
And this is the early 90s, so about the time when I start drinking alcohols. And
I heard you started earlier than that.
Drunkenly walking around up there. And I remember it as it was, not as it is. So I run full tilt and fly off that thing.
Do you think we could see a reenactment of that?
No, I do not think so.
Damn it. I had to try, Torben. By the way, he says he got the complete Valhalla sagas for Christmas. He and the boys have some fun reading sessions in the future. He and the boy will have some fun reading sessions in the future. How many teeth is he up to? Oh, and he got the Children of Ashen Elm. We like that book. That one is good. Well, I'm saying that because it's pretty much the only book I've read lately, and that's because it was on audiobook. I listened to it in the car. I think I had to replay it about 5 times because my attention span sucks, but I did manage to get the whole thing. It's really good.
But if you are to read only 2 books, go for that one and the Heimskringla.
Heimskringlet? Heimskringle? A kringle is like cakes or
the
cookies.
Chronicle of Norwegian Kings by Snorri Sturlason.
Where's your house, Karl? Oh, yeah, he's beyond view here. He is, we'll have to go selfie mode. Up that way a bit, or up that way. Behind the store-ish, and up about 2 blocks. And he's smoking, because I'm stressing him. I said turkey and shoes, and now he has to light up. There was another comment in here. Ann Taylor said, I didn't do any stash busting challenges, but we did move from southeastern Arizona to central Arizona. And the craft room I can see, is mostly set up. My husband and I share the craft spaces with 2 cats. Well, if you don't share the space with the cats will take it. The one room my cats are not allowed in is in my bedroom because one of the cats makes my nose itch. And they cannot wait to get in that room. But moving is a huge thing. I would love to move to Gudvangen, but you've seen all the crap I have after 21 years of living in the house that I have. Whew, it's going to take a bulldozer and about 50 dump trucks. And then maybe I can move to Gudvangen, but the idea is to move there at some point. Now you can see all the boathouses surrounding the church. So what's the likelihood that they would have boated there? Or why are there so many boathouses around? They all just wanted to go to church and...
The likelihood of that is about 100%.
Yeah?
That church is about 150 years old. Actually, it's 153, 154.
It's about as old as my city of Duluth.
I was still working there when I had the 150 year anniversary.
Yeah?
So that must have been 2016, 2017. But the place the church is on is called Hove, which is a very similar word to the word for a pagan temple, a hove. So most likely, and also at the edge of the cemetery here, there are burial mounds.
Well, yeah, the cemetery is just behind it, if you can see.
So
There.
most likely there was another place of worship before Christianity here. There is a local legend about why the church is where it is.
Yeah?
And I don't believe it, but I can't retell it.
Yeah? By the way, we're crossing a major river here.
Back in the days, it was the priest was basically being paid by getting the prestgarden. He has his own farm. The problem with that is that when a priest dies and he leaves his wife, then the wife would either have to marry the next priest, or she would have to move out.
Yeah?
And there was this, the priests that came to Selje. Selje was not a popular place to be. And back in these days, we are under Denmark, so they're all educated in Denmark and probably, and yeah, generally unmarried when they get here. And we had this priest wife who was married to 4 priests.
Yeah?
Because they die, and the new one comes from Denmark and goes, yeah, no, a house and a wife, count me in. But this only works for a while because she keeps getting older and older. And at one point you have a new priest going, yep, I want a house, but I do not want this, 50-year-old woman? No. So he says, I will find my own woman, thank you very much, but I want a house. So she got angry, and one of the things she did was to burn all the church books, so we don't have any records from before that time. Another thing the same woman did earlier, originally the plan was to build a church back there next to the priest's farm,
Yeah.
in the area that's now a park. But she didn't want to be living right next to a cemetery.
There, yeah.
So when they got all the wood, it was dragged on lecters that were tied out there. It looks like I'm pointing in the wrong direction.
You have to look at the screen when you point, not where you actually want to point. There. There you go. Now you can do it.
So she had her servants go and cut the moorings, and all the materials just floated across the bay and landed there. And the locals, being superstitious, thought, well, okay then, it's God's will to have the church there instead. So they built it there.
By the way, who's a smart ass that could afford the paint over there?
I don't remember.
Apparently only one of them could afford paint.
Yes.
It's kind of a show off. Sticks it right in front of the church
got
too.
Really unpopular. No, it used to be a tradition around here, and you see it very clearly in old paintings, that people live in white houses and animals live in red houses.
So,
But
people, animals.
yes,
Who gets yellow?
no, back then unwed mothers apparently.
That would be me now. I got 2 kids. I was married at the time though. And then I got mad and burned all his church books. No, just kidding. Albert was working on something, by the way. Oh yeah, the guy over there with the paint, he must be rich. See, he sent it to me. I said there's a little show off over there. I got paint and you don't. Did you ever read The Painted House by John Grisham? That was actually a good book.
But I see the yellow boathouse is yellow in old paintings too, so it's been like that for a long time.
Ah, so they're kind of keeping up. He's got to set the standard for the other guys. But I got to say that, like this one on the end here, the more worn out, the better.
Yeah, and occasionally, like in most Norwegians probably remember the storm Dagmar.
Yeah?
That broke at least the 4 boathouses that are closest to us now.
Didn't you used to work? Does that feel like home to you, Karl? The graves?
I've cut that grass many times, and I've also accidentally toppled several headstones by running into them with the lawnmower.
That's your guilty look.
Yep.
Shame on you. You can see how, I like the grain in the sand, by the way, I have to show that. It's quite cool. I want yarn in that color. But you can see how soft it is because Karl's shoes are getting soaked. With the... How are the smiling shoes?
As long as I don't actively step in the water, I'm completely dry.
It's like clay here, super soft. I'm glad I got new shoes. Oh, that is a little... Okay, let's see if he can do it without getting smiled on. How are those shoes?
Still dry.
Damn it. There you can. Oh, it's really pretty. I kind of like that we're filming early enough to see things outside of the break room. But what are the minerals in the... Oh no, wait, I have a better Viking question. Did the Vikings have turkey?
Oh, come on. Leif Eriksson might have eaten one.
Yeah? Where's the safe way to go up? Actually, I really like...
But they didn't have mayonnaise, so I don't know how they did it.
If they had a mayonnaise troll, they could do it. Running around with a bucket of mayonnaise. I'm not sure where the safest way to get up here is. No, I don't know. We're kind of at the end of the strange Norwegian food. Obviously, if we hit turkey, went on to strange American food.
So now we have walked to the end of the mini beach.
Yeah. Arlene says her beaches are white, but miles and miles and miles of it. Yeah, the beach and sand is white, but for miles and miles and miles. That's kind of how... Do we want to walk in front of these, or do we want to walk behind up on the road?
There is a road behind.
Yeah, if we can get up the... Let's see if you can do that with those shoes, Karl. Because obviously you're not wearing the high heels. Actually, I'm kind of curious to see if I can do it. I think I want to go this way. Oh, we have miles and miles and miles of beach in Duluth, obviously, because it's along Lake Superior. But yeah, again, the sand is brown. There's no salt. And it's cold. It never gets warmer than 4 degrees. So when you say that water is about 6 degrees, are you making it? If you fall, everyone will know. He did it! Woohoo! Cheer. You're not jubilations. Jubilation! That's your... There you go, you did it! Round of applause for Karl and his smiley shoes. Brutus says, Karl is full of nonsense. Thick soles could protect your feet from the cold. Haha, she's on my side. It's high heels in your future, pal. Okay, we got a little more to climb. The snow is melting, all that snow we got last week. So do you think it'll snow just in time to drive back tomorrow? There's the church graveyard. No, hopefully it'll be fine. Where's the old and new part? No, this is the newer graveyard. Arlene applauded you.
The newest ones are on top of that ridge.
Oh, where we can't see, just over.
Well, the very newest ones are down here, because that's the oldest one that they've just started using again.
Yeah, so if we make everyone dizzy and turn the camera real quickly. Now we're behind the church. A lot of churches in Norway have that shape. Not obviously the stave churches, but actually even some of the stave churches have like a little rounded section in the back. It's pretty, says Charlotte. But I think, yeah, no, actually a lot of the stave churches do have this. It looks kind of squarish, but it's actually round in the back. What did we call that in Catholic? The, not the rectory, but, no, that's actually where the altar is, isn't it?
Yeah, the windows you see here are behind the altar.
Yeah. Does your steeple up there have bells in it?
Yes.
That they play at 5 o'clock on Christmas to tell everyone there are no snow plows out?
Yep.
The weather report says we're due for rain tomorrow, says Peruta. So we'll be okay as long as the rain doesn't freeze.
It's in the middle in the mountains.
But we're going to go up and down and 2 ferry boats later because we're going to Gudvangen this time, not all the way. 8 hours back to Vestby. No, I'm going to drive.
They are hard to see and I have been messed with a lot, but there are burial mounds up there.
Are there? Oh, I see a little one. That looks like a burial mound.
Yeah, there is a planchette somewhere.
Oh, there's a couple of them under there. They're just not like the big ones in Bora. I can see a couple. There's like, actually that's 2. There's one there and one there. How long have people been living here now? Obviously since St. Sunniva.
Well, there has been people here since the Neolithic age, at least.
Yeah.
There is Bronze Age burial field in the little fjord back there.
Yeah. Are these how are these the original windows?
Well, define original. This is the 3rd church on this spot.
Yeah.
Before that, because we have this really holy island there.
Yeah, with the monastery.
That's where the churches was.
Yeah.
Little ghost story. They used to go to church on that island because they consider that to be holy.
Yeah.
But we have these storms around here. And I went to church in open boats, not too dissimilar from the Fjordtoft type boats that we have in the Viking village.
Mm.
And
Look at.
even though they are good seafaring people, trying to cross this in a hurricane in a Fjordtoft type longboat is dangerous.
Yeah.
And one year they lost 2 boats full of people.
Oh.
So something like 30 people died trying to get to church on Christmas.
Doesn't even look that long.
So they decided to move the church from Bø, that's the part of the island you see from here where the people live,
Yeah.
to this spot. The problem is that as soon as they did that, everybody who was buried out there started to haunt the place. So they had to get special priests. I don't know what they call them, but they had to have some kind of special priest to come and re-bless the cemetery over there to get the ghosts to stop haunting people and accept that their family members would have to be buried on this side instead of out there.
How did they know they were haunting? Explain this a bit.
Well, they were making noise, they were making lights, and they were generally coming around and bugging people.
So is that teenagers or the Northern Lights, or do you get the Northern Lights here?
Yes, you do, but because they would be in the north, we have mountains, so they have to be high up for us to see them.
Did Selje have their own boat building style? These are kind of...
Not a completely unique style, but the boat building traditions is basically a common Western Norwegian theme. And my father's father was one of the last people to build wooden boats around there.
Yeah? We can go sit at this little table. We have a couple minutes left.
Yeah.
Oh, it's pretty over there.
Because it's on the other side of that little pier, that little thing with the houses on.
Yeah?
But on the other side is his, what used to be his workshop.
Oh. There we go. There's a nice little table here we can sit. You can see the mountains on the other side there. That's actually just outside, that's across water, that mountain. There's a whole bunch of them there. You have Karl lighting up in a churchyard. Not very Viking. You stand over here, we don't have to watch you smoke. Stinking up my beautiful needle-bound hat I made you. So I can do something really stupid. I can turn the camera, I think. Maybe. Oh no, last time YouTube yelled at me when I tried to do that. But we can go up. There. So that's a bell tower up there?
Yeah.
I would think that's a weather vane up there, but it actually looks like a microphone on a boomstick. Are they listening to everyone in Selje? I just love asking you stupid
I
questions.
would assume that's a lightning rod.
Lightning rod. Get a lot of lightning around here?
Not a lot, but you don't need many hits of lightning to burn down a church.
No, that's true. Arlene says they see the northern lights frequently there. It's beautiful. We actually do see them in Duluth if you get away from the city lights a bit, but it's more or less just shades in the sky, but not actually dancing.
Yeah. The one thing that suddenly occurred to me.
Albert also has boat builders in the family, and what style did they have?
If we walk around the church to the other side,
we
there
can.
is an interesting detail. If I remember correctly, there is an interesting detail on one of the stairs.
We can. We're at exactly 1 hour, so we can walk a little bit. In case some people decided to sleep today.
So, the first, the old church, the one they had before this one, they decided it was too small for Selje, but it was just right for Leikanger, Stadlandet.
Yeah.
So they broke it into...
Where are we going? That side?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, well you gotta stay closer to the microphone then. There you go. Saw there was a comment in there. Did they have fishing boats? Oh, I bet. That's a nice fun stupid... I like irritating you with questions. Did the Vikings have fishing boats, Karl?
Yes.
Your father has a fishing boat. Is he a Viking? Oh, the wind is picking up.
You would have to use a fairly interesting definition of Viking to get him included.
Yeah.
But he is a seaborn Norwegian who occasionally gets a lot of money from foreigners. So yes.
He helped build Swedish vessels. Volvo. Albert says his family made fishing boats. That's not what you were looking for? Let's see what else. I miss seeing the northern lights. You can't really see them in Gudvangen though because the mountains are so close together that your sky is very limited. Oh, there you can see the old gravestones. Maybe we have to look at those a little too, even though we're over time now. You see it there? Oh, the steps are like sinking in the middle. Is there carvings on there, you said?
On one of the stairs there is carvings on one of the rocks, but
anybody see?
This one, but I can't see it. Oh, there it is.
Yeah? Oh, there is a carving up there. What is it? It looks like an amphitheater drawing from Norsemen. Viking on a...
I would say it's a flower motif of some kind, I think.
Oh, it is. Yeah, if you look at it sideways. Oh, there's another one over there too.
Yeah.
Oh, they're on all four sides. Jesus, I'm taking the Lord's name in vain and not noticing things that are right underneath my...
Well, he lives here, so he might get confused, but...
Yeah. There. Yeah, no, I think you're right. I think those are flowers when you see it from this angle. Well, those are cool. Hey, don't touch the inscriptions. You'll open the portal, says Kaya. Have you done that before? How does she know? She's from here.
She's from here.
Have you opened the portals, Kaya? We can look at a couple of gravestones before we call it a day. I think Karl's parents are sleeping. We were all up late. Albert said he saw the Northern Lights not too long ago in Brumunddal. We drove through Brumunddal on the way here. And Arlene says the path looks like her kitchen floor. It kind of does. I think that's quite cool. That was the stairwell there. We were on the top step. So these walls, these stone walls are everywhere in Norway. They're so cool. It's one of my favorite things. And they're all like remains. None of them are new. The newer ones have, I don't know if I can get around to see it. The newer ones have like this chain link thing and they just chuck a bunch of rocks in it. But actually placing these stones like that so that they would fit and not fall over was a highly skilled profession.
So down here we have a mix of some of the oldest and some of the newest graves.
Yeah? I was just showing the fence here. Then I'll turn around, you can see the mix of the old and the new graves, he said. You know, you can dye yarn with that lichen, but I think it's forbidden to remove it from gravestones because it's likes to grow on that for some reason, but some of them are endangered? Is that the right word? Is this common to have fenced in grave areas in
No, it's
Norway?
extremely uncommon. So I'm guessing that whoever is buried there is probably a priest or somebody of high importance.
I know in Vestby we have iron crosses like that are reserved for the priests too. No, so the fenced area you said is uncommon.
Yeah.
I'll walk around you in the microphone and pick you up a little bit.
And considering that for a while it was my job to cut the grass here, I am not a big fan of the fenced area.
How many of these stones did you knock over? And believe me, some people could be watching.
No one done here.
By the way, Peruta has a link of the chain link thing. It's called a gabion. Cool, I have to look that one up. Kaya said she's not saying that she's opening any portals or has opened them in the past, but she's not saying that. No, I'm not saying I've opened the portals, but I'm not saying that I haven't opened the portals. I see what she did there. Did you wake the ghosts on the other side that they had to apparently subdue? Oh, look at that yellow lichen. I think that's Xanthoria or whatever it's called. It actually goes orange. It's actually green, but it goes like orange and yellow in the summer, in the light. But you can color yarn with that too if you ferment it for like 3 months. You can make supposedly a blue or purple yarn. But anyway, that one is, you're not allowed to pick them off gravestones.
And one thing you'll notice, particularly on this oldest gravesite, is how young people were.
Well, that one's 2017. That one's pretty new.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There are some new ones done here.
Yeah.
But on the old ones, there is a lot of people who die very young. So something to think about for anti-vaxxers.
Yeah.
The things that killed people are generally things we don't worry about anymore, like polio, tuberculosis, that sort of thing.
Quite a few members in my family to tuberculosis back in the day. Oops, I have to reset the gimbal. There it goes.
This is mostly new graves.
Yeah? We want to see the old ones because we're on overtime now, so I want to see the old ones. I like the way that tree, that bush there is so heavily pruned. It looks like a baby tree, like a bonsai. It's cedar, I think. But I see a lot of these with the gold rating on them. Those are new.
Yeah.
Show me a really old one.
I think the oldest ones are probably the ones up here.
Yeah? The ones with all the lichen on it? A lot of the graves, by the way, I don't know if you've noticed, have candles on them because it's tradition to visit them during the holidays. This one's 1919, but the stone face on the front looks like it's been redone since then, especially because the letters on it are stickers. So maybe they tried to preserve it a bit. I'll let the Duke Badal. That one's hard to read. What is that one? The red one. What year? The churchyard in Leikanger is like a set for Indiana Jones production jungle. Oh, that'd be cool to see. Myklebust, that's a pretty common name in Norway.
Yeah.
1935. Here's some here behind you if I get around you. That one's 1928, the little short one.
Yeah, so I think that's among the oldest.
What's it say on the inscription, though, by the way? Because we've been listening to Henrettelsespodden, which is basically for people who have been doomed to death in the 1700s and 1800s. Du men ikke glemt. En skjønt I graven du gjemt.
I am pretty sure that
You were dead, but not forgotten.
on this cemetery was executed.
No. Well, that's good to know, because they'd be haunting this place like mad, and then your sister may or may not have opened a portal. So, that could be bad. But they're quite cool. So what are we going to do next week, Karl? When we're back indoors at 6 o'clock on Saturday. Gudvangen, yeah. It's starting to get a little lighter now, so that's good. We're moving towards March when we can go outside again, the beginning of March, I think, in Gudvangen, because it's they might turn the mountains back on. Arlene says, see you next week. Take care and be safe. COVID is not good in North America right now. I'm expecting dark numbers on the 4th to appear. Everybody has to be retested before going back to school and work. So I'm thinking we're going to find out just how much damage Christmas did. But we'll see. I think right now we're at about 4,000 something. Our highest before Omicron was about 1,050 something. And then we topped out at 6,003. Anyway, next week, Peruta says, get everyone to talk about what they did over the holidays. That sounds like a good idea. That'll be episode, 95? So we're getting closer to 100 now. Yeah. So maybe I have to learn how to edit a video and take some fun clips of things like me saying, you did what? What did you do, Karl? What did you do? I am a tame American. Kaya says, Happy New Year and congratulations on the successful turkey. I think we're screwed making that every year now. Damn it. By the way, that turkey got done at 10:15 p.m. It was a really good... No getting COVID, Karl. And Regina, I'm so happy to hear you're feeling better. Torben says, executed people did not usually get a gravestone. You actually know he's right. They just got kind of hung up on a spike.
Well,
that's a really good podcast, by the way, but it is in Norwegian.
It varied. They started burying them in the 1800s, but there wasn't that many people executed after the 1700s. But there was a thing with you couldn't take them through the gate of the cemetery. You had to lift them over the wall.
Oh, yeah. That's right. I just want to show this little one right before we go. It's got a little electric candle. I think that's cute. From 1921. Gone, but definitely not forgotten. Okay, Karl's back there somewhere. He's freezing, so we're gonna go. Wave goodbye, Karl. He's letting up another cigarette. How many is that for you? He says bye-bye. So Saturday, 6 o'clock. Back in the dark. See you then.